by your own people is something that's prevalent in society today too. Kind of like what she said about she didn't just grow up knowing just the Jewish side of her, but because her parents wanted her to fit in and be an American, they exposed her to American and Jewish culture at the same time, as opposed to the other women who only experienced the trueness of Jewish culture, and the lady kind of felt like she said, she'd trade all the privilege in the world just to be able to experience her culture in a fullness, to like have a sense of belonging within our culture. And it's a shame to see that even within what you identify with, you can still be turned away because you don't fully identify with what you're claiming. Yeah.
I just say that I feel like what she's talking about kind of has to do with the fact that, like, me personally, I've experienced times where other Haitian people have told me that, oh, I'm not Haitian, like, but why not? Because I don't look Haitian. And I feel like that's kind of what she's talking about, is that for her, she's growing up in a culture, or at least the way she grew up, she was told to identify with a certain way. And I feel like that also has to do with the mindset of other people, that with the way they grow up, they're told to view other people in a certain way. So in their head, they have an idea of what each race or individual should look like when they're from a certain part of the world. And I actually have a story where I told someone that I met just like in my life or whatever, and I had told them that, yeah, I'm Haitian. They're like, oh, you don't look like the Haitians you usually see on TV. And I feel like that whole situation, I think it has to do with the fact that, like, a lot of things, sometimes when you see Haitians on the media, it's always when some type of devastation happens. I'm just like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, am I supposed to be looking defeated and, you know, in some type of rubble or something like no, like, you know, Haitian people, we are strong people, and we come in all different shapes, sizes, colors, and everything like that. So you can't tell me that because I don't look the image that you want me to look, that I'm not Haitian. Like, I was born this way, this is how I grew up, and, you know, I'm 100% Haitian, I'm not mixed with anything else. And so for me, this is what I identify with. So for you to tell me that something that I identify with so strongly, that that's not me, that's basically saying that I'm non-existent.
I just want to piggyback off of that, because I am too Haitian. And I do feel some type of way, because Haiti is like the black sheep of the Caribbean islands. You know, we're the most hated out of all the Caribbean islands. Nobody ever wants to be Haitian. So I do feel some type of way when people automatically look at, I've been called Trini, I've been called Jamaican, I've been called everything but Haitian. I feel some type of way when people say, even when I'm black, oh, you look good for a black girl. What does that mean? Does that mean normally black girls don't look good and I just happen to be one of the lucky few? Because I look at it as, those are my people you're talking about. And I don't like when people just automatically assume whatever they think I am. Like, I've had girls who would talk bad about me in Creole.
Oh, that happens way.
Not knowing that I understand what they're saying, because they assume that I'm Jamaican or I'm Trini or I'm something else. And I'm like, hey, sakase, I know what you're saying, buddy. Like, so I definitely, I don't get it, because at the end of the day, we're all from the same island and we're all checking off the same thing. So I never understood where that hatred comes from at all.
Something that I've just experienced in the first, I didn't really grow up with a lot of Haitian people. Something I've just experienced coming here. I've made a lot of people that are a lot of friends that are from the Caribbean, and I've had Haitian people tell me that I'm not Haitian because I was born here, because I wasn't raised with the culture in that country. Because it's not to say I didn't grow up with the same culture. My mom, all the same food, all the same eating, everything. Everything was the same. It was just in America. And I've been told I'm not Haitian because I'm a fake Haitian, actually. I'm a fake Haitian because my Creole doesn't sound as good as theirs, because I didn't run the same streets, didn't ride the same bikes, didn't keep the same soccer ball that they did when they grew up. And I don't understand that, because it's not just from Haitian people, it's from everyone from the Caribbean. I've met Jamaicans. They tell me that anyone who was raised, they're like, your parents are Jamaican, Haitian, Dominican. You're not, because you were born here and you have the American culture mixed in with it. So now it's not even though I'm 100% Haitian, but because I was raised with two different cultures, I'm not what I identify as.
So because you have the American hyphenated into your culture, you're not real.
Yeah, I don't even feel comfortable checking off African American. Because
Yeah,
I see myself as maybe Caribbean American. But like just to assume everybody that's black is from Africa,
Yeah.
that's rude. Like it doesn't, and yeah,
Did I write it
we ain't gonna get into it.
So I'm trying to like, even like watching this again, I'm sitting here like trying to understand how has this sense of oppression become like it is like they said, it's internalized oppression because it's oppression within a group. But how did it end up traveling so far down the line and still continuing to this day and age?
I feel like sometimes it's like passed down from kids' parents because I have a little cousin that's half Jamaican, half white, but he looks full white, like blonde hair, blue eyes, but speaks straight patois. And he goes to school with majority of like, you know, mixed kids, white kids, whatever. But they had like a culture day. So I went with him, his mom went, his dad is Jamaican, we went him or whatever. And he was like showing them like his little Jamaican flag, we brought in food, whatever they were eating. But a lot of the people there didn't know that he was Jamaican because when he goes to school, he speaks more Americanized. He doesn't speak patois. He only does it when he's at home majority of the time. And his mom is the one that picks him up from school. But so, since it was culture day, me, his father, and my mother went. And one of the little kids went up to him and was like, you're, I'm not going to say, like, basically on the N-word, you're not white. And then he came to us and was like, what does that mean? And the little boy's mother told her son, don't play with my little cousin because he's not white, he's black. And the little boy listened and stopped playing with my little cousin because he was black. I feel like sometimes it's not necessarily, it's being passed down because the little boy was playing with my little cousin before he knew anything. Like, it wasn't nothing to him. There was no color, there was no segregation between anything. It gets passed down between from the parents to the child, and they don't know. Then they grow up learning that and don't change it. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's what happens the majority of the time.
What happened to my nephew? Well, it didn't happen to like the extreme because I have a sister who's like very, very light skinned, and my nephew came out light skinned too, but his dad's dark. And when they met his mom for the first time, they're like, "Oh, that's your mom?
Yeah,
Oh, that's your dad? Oh." They're little kids, you know. They weren't obviously not racist. Like, "Oh, your mom's a lot whiter than I thought she was gonna be," you know. And like, you wonder like, where does it stop? Where do we stop teaching these little kids that it doesn't matter what you are?
To little kids, it doesn't matter. Like,
At all.
It really doesn't.
They don't know.
They don't
know anything.
It's the older generation that they see and they realize certain things that they're doing, and then they start nitpicking it to other little kids.